Power to the people. We are about to do maintenance. Yeah, we gonna rock like crack when it came in. It's me. It's Podcast P, and we got you stuck off the realness. Yeah, we be the infamous. You heard of us. Real London murderers. We're not real London murderers. Please don't take that seriously. We are both studious people, and we can't take it that far. But welcome into another edition, track 58 of the Two Stubborn Nigerians podcast. You could have been anywhere else in the world right now, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. Us is bigger today. Some would say us is bigger and better today.
It's significantly bigger and better.
They're already chuckling in the back, so people are already back home.
Like, what's going on?
That doesn't sound like Paul. Doesn't sound like me.
Listen, that's not a laugh I'm used to.
I'm not used to that laugh. We're gonna get to that in a second, but before we do, once again, just thank you so much for joining us. If you're on Spotify or Apple Music, please do think about hitting that subscribe button for $1.99 per month. You can check into our exclusive members club, officially becoming an Olodo.
Man, right there. The button's right there.
The button's right there. Think about it. If you want, take this episode as a tester, but there's exclusive content behind there where we talk about basketball, we talk about anime, we talk about movies, we talk about life, talk about love, talk about laughter.
Come on, man.
Talk about everything.
Everything under the sun.
Everything under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. That's it. You try to get me.
I'm working, man.
Okay, you try to get me. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, please do that. If you're watching on YouTube, please do like, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful stuff. Retweet, repost. Snow, hi. We see you. What's good?
Yo, Snow, what's
up? What's up, man? What's up, man? But man, we're here. Another edition of the Two Stubborn Nigerians podcast. Who is we? Of course, I'm one half, and then the other half is the guy that gave you the look, the verse, and even the hook. That's why every pod sounds like Kex featuring Kex. Let me say it again. It's the hard thing that heard me.
No, it didn't.
It's the guy that gave you the look, the verse, and even the hook. That's why every pod sounds like Kex featuring Kex.
Come on, man. Wow. Come on, man. You already know who it is. You already know who it is. Hey, listen. It's the big Kekavelli.
Come on now.
The notorious K.E.K.
Talk about it.
My mum calls me Ricky.
Yes, she does.
It's good to be back, man. What's this? Track 58?
Track 58.
Man, we're almost at 60.
We are almost at 60.
But this one might be bigger than 60.
This might be bigger. This is our biggest one yet.
We've been planning this one from day 2.
Literally day 2.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand.
And you know what, yeah? Like, this is probably... Since Will Jordan, this is probably the most nervous I've been for a podcast. Because there's a lot to set up for this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot to set up, a lot to get right. I left you to do planning. Which was
crazy.
People don't know. Planning is not realistic.
He said, go to the studio and see if it's good. I said, huh? By myself. I said, go pick up the camera. I said, I can't.
But we're here. We are live. For those of you watching on YouTube, you'll see we're in a new setting. You know, this isn't Manchester. This isn't MK. We're live here at Cube in London. Thank you so much to the people here at Cube Podcast Studios. Beautiful space. It was a special occasion for us. So we had to do it big. We had to do it big. So thank you so much to all the people at Cube. Now, why is it a special occasion for us? So we, from the time that we started this podcast, man, we had wanted to get... Obviously, we're two fans of music. And when we come here, we talk as fans. And we know that there are so many other people, some who listen to us, some who aren't, who are huge fans of music also. And we know that they have amazing perspectives. They're people who we bounce ideas off. They're people we speak with, we argue with, that we've referenced here on the podcast multiple times. And we wanted to have a roundtable podcast episode where we give you more perspectives than just myself and Raheem. You know? We're not the only stubborn heads out here.
We're not, which is crazy. We might be the most, but not
we might be the most, but we're not the only. There are more people. So today for track 28, we are so thrilled to bring to you our first ever roundtable podcast episode. We have 3 amazing guests who I think they've all been referenced on the podcast before. I know one of them has definitely been on an episode, so it's a familiar voice for you. And they're legends in their own right, and we're so honestly thrilled and thankful that all 3 of you are able to be here with us in studio. Tamara's over there in the corner,
my guy,
giving us all moral support, so we appreciate you there as well. But I'm gonna introduce y'all. I'm gonna kick it to you guys to introduce yourselves also. We're gonna start with the man, the myth, and the legend. He's been here before, so like I said, you'll recognize his voice, Mr. Marco Palmieri. Good friend of ours going back to St. Paul's days, was here for us to chop it up about Don Toliver's Life of a Don album, which I just made Song of the Day today, swung in on Westheimer, because shit don't get no easy. I know you need me. she doesn't need me anymore. Do you know how crazy that is?
It's so sad.
Like, I reached out to her this week and she was like, Paul, why are you messaging me?
I had to remind her who's in my DM.
Like, do you know what I'm saying?
The price is up.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Marco, man, welcome. How you feeling?
No, I'm good. Happy to be here. Good to be back on the pod. Always good to be back with you guys, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming in. It's great to have you back. We're going to get to some questions for you guys in a second, once I've introduced everyone, so that they can get to know you a bit more. They know us too well. But now I'm going to introduce the Queen. It's not hyperbole to say that without this person, this podcast wouldn't exist.
We'll still be looking for a logo for real.
For real. And you got to understand, like, this has been coming. You know what I'm saying? It was written.
Man.
Some would say it's already happened,
wow.
But due to technical difficulties, we couldn't put it out there. Miss Romara Lee Visuals, man. Welcome into the Two Stubborn Nigerians podcast.
Yeah, what's goody?
Come on, man.
She's already acting up. Look at
this. Look. Press record, you're like, okay.
I'm here. Queen is here.
Queen is here. Thank you so much for joining us, man. We really appreciate you being here. And last but most certainly not least, this one. Ayeni boy.
Know the game.
Tomiwa Ayeni, man. My good friend from uni. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. First time on the Stubborn Nigerians podcast, you know. So, yeah, it's a blessing, isn't it?
A blessing. First time, technically second time, because again, Tommy was a part of that episode which we couldn't put out.
That's true.
Where we called out people with technical difficulties for track 31, which would have been sensational. But we got you guys all here in studio with us. So thank you so much for being here. As I mentioned, I want to give the people at home a chance to understand you guys a little bit better. You know, understand you a bit more, okay? So, Romara, I'm going to start with you. I've got a question for you.
Okay.
What's your favourite music memory?
Okay. My favourite music memory is going to be when I was in Jamaica. I was in Jamaica with my grandparents. Went on a family holiday, and they were in the car singing along to Al Green. How does it go again? Oh, I forgot what it's called. You know what song it is. What's that? Name some Al Green song.
That's a name some Al Green song.
Bro, don't worry, we got Spotify right here.
Okay. But yeah, listening to Al Green, and it was just like a really nice.
Wow. In Jamaica as well.
In Jamaica.
You
see? Vibes. Consistent vibes. You gotta keep up with the vibes. Man.
I like that. Marco, for you, I'm going to switch the question real quick. He's worried. What's your favourite project of 2021 and why?
Oh, I mean, it's tough because as much as when I wrote my blog, it was very much Silk Sonic was #1 for me. But I think if you told me to pick one out of what was my favourite and what I would choose to listen to probably on a daily basis, it's probably going to be the Melodic Blue, Baby Keem. Because as much as it was scratchy in places and it felt experimental in places, I think it showed that he's on his way to do something big in whatever he's doing next.
What were those places? Would they happen to have anything to do with a certain rapper from Compton?
I mean, I know what you mean. The second half of after the second beat switch of Range Brothers, obviously the whole Top of the Morning thing, that was an L. But everything before that, I think if he cut it at the end of that second beat, I think that would have been one of the songs of the year. Yeah. But I think just because of that one little slip up at the end, I don't know what it was for. I don't know who authorised that. I mean, if Keem did that, then he's got some questions. He's got to get on the phone to some people.
That's crazy. So you think how can I put it? So it would have been song of the year, but because of that, 30 seconds, 40 seconds?
If it was 30 seconds, it felt like 2 minutes.
That's come on now.
For real.
He said Top of the Morning 3 times. You guys said, this takes forever. It was quick.
He said, let's get this shit, and didn't get this shit. But wait, we'll come back to that because we still have one more person that they gotta get to know first. Tommy, third question for you, and it's not so much a question, but just for you to enlighten us. Can you give us a short synopsis of what you would consider your journey with music to be? So like maybe an earliest memory of music, and then some where you are with it now. So like maybe what you listen to most, the type of genre, the artist that you're feeling around.
I grew up to a lot of music with my older brother, playing a lot of shit. So I think like probably my first music memory, or like not my first, but one of my best, was probably when what's it called? My Dark Beautiful Twisted Fantasy dropped, because that was ridiculous. I think it was like 2013, 2012? 2010, sorry. Yeah, I was 13 around that. So yeah, I was 13 then. And we're listening to the intro, and then Kanye starts going off, and then he starts going off in Spanish. And, he just twists it up, puts like the little Spanish in there, and we're just losing our minds. I think it was like 4 of us. It was my brother and like 2 of my cousins, and we're just going crazy. And yeah, I think that's how I kind of started getting into music. As I've grown older, I think I've calmed down a bit in terms of like I'm not really an intense person in music. I like a lot of soft melodic kind of beats, cool instrumentals, smooth jazzy vibes to it as well. I don't want to say too many artist names, I don't want to. Or should I?
No, say them. They listen.
Yeah. Let's see. I know you guys got a shout out from Snow, right? So crossing my fingers.
I wasn't gonna say it. I wouldn't personally say it, but it happened. Yeah, you're not lying.
It happened. No, so I like people like A2, Janae. I'm a big Janae fan.
Yeah.
Michael. Yeah, I think just putting those 2 out there, I guess those are the kind of artists I fuck with,
He's doing himself a disservice, innit? Because like I said, me and Tommy went to university together, and that's where I met this guy. And like, he put me on to Six Flags.
Oh shit!
And you know that I just said on podcast last week, don't ever put me onto music. I hate it. Don't tell me to listen to something. But he was like, Paul, you need to go and jam this 6 Flag tape. And I was like, do I really? Do I actually really need to? And then I played it, and I was like, oh no, I definitely needed to. Because like, why would she do that? Sleeping on
yeah, that's the thing. I feel like everyone has actually, they've done themselves a disservice without meaning to, but none of them have given themselves the proper accolades they deserve. Because we really sat here. Tommy is involved in one of the best car trips of all time.
No, for real.
Legendary car journey.
Legendary car
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Where we played all sorts of music games, and Tommy was going crazy the whole time.
What was that? 5 hours?
Something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
And again, the music that was played throughout that journey, the music discussions that we had, crazy. I wish we had a mic, because that was a bunch of free content that we gave away. But we moved. Marco, every episode we drop, Marco has some interesting take that we didn't necessarily have. He DMs us all the time, and we'll just end up getting into a random music conversation.
You gotta understand, like, Marco is the first stone that led to this podcast. Because it was his blog that inspired me to do my one. Do you know what I'm saying? And then my blog was what led me to like, yo, we should actually start talking about music.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for this guy just wanting to write about the music that he does in a way that, like, I think my blog's cold. I can't reach his level. I'm not just saying that. Like, his blogs go crazy. So anyone at home, the link's gonna be in the description. Please do check that out.
And then Romara, listen, director over here. For real. Romara Lee visuals helped to create our logos, and then on top of all that, I remember in second year, one random day, me and my flatmate were chilling in the house. Romara and our friend came over, and we just listened to music, nothing but music for maybe like 3 hours, just going crazy over the most random songs. Like, have you heard this? Have you heard Q? What?
I remember that.
We were just going crazy for like a solid. I don't even know how long. The room was sweaty after a while.
It actually was. And people kept on joining. That was the funny thing.
Yeah.
There was like 10 people in this small box room. I love
that. That's dope, man. And we've got a lot that we want to get into today. Maybe even too much. But I'm really excited to have some discussion. But before we go any further, because Marco said it, and it began to spark an interesting discussion. So I want to go back to Romara and Tommy. I'm going to ask you two, what were your favourite projects of 2021 and why?
Who do you want to start?
Let's start with you, Miss Visuals.
Okay. Right, I have a complex with this. Because I...
Don't shout out another
They're not paying us.
They're not paying us. No.
I have a complex with this because I don't listen to a lot of new content.
Interesting.
I listen to like old stuff. So I'll go back, or older, a little bit older stuff. Like I'm a major hip hop head. Sorry, so I'll listen to the whole the Biggies and all of that. The what's her name?
It's not Lady Leisha.
Not Lady Leisha. Not Lady Leisha. No, oh my god, I'm forgetting names. But I'm an old school type of person. But the most recent project I would say would be the Benny the Butcher project. Is it Brad and Proof?
Brad and Proof. Oh wow,
that was 2020.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't.
Wow.
Yeah, I struggle listening to newer stuff.
Is there a reason why?
It's hard to digest for me. I feel like turnover-wise, everything's just so quick that if I miss it, I miss it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no buzz for it anymore. I don't think. I mean, I might listen to like a track or two, but project-wise,
you're not the first person I've heard that come from, though. As of, like, I remember the other day, one of my other friends was telling me that he doesn't listen to albums anymore at all because he just doesn't listen to new music. Like, he has his music that he's happy with.
Yeah, literally.
But I don't know.
So what, do you feel like you need to now get redirected by like a friend or someone to like, oh yeah, you should go listen to this track, and then you go listen to it, but otherwise you just miss it?
Yeah, that's Raheem. That is Raheem for me.
Raheem,
like, yo, have you heard this? And I'm like, no. No,
but then once Raheem tells you, then you can accept it.
Yeah,
like, I fuck with this. And then
because I trust his music taste.
Okay.
So then I listen to it and be like, yeah, you know what, it's alright. And then there's other times where I'm like, no, this is cold. Do you know what I mean? But it's hard. I don't know. Do you not find it easy, like to digest music?
I don't know. I think to an extent. Yes, but I also think it's unfair for, I don't know if you'll agree, it's unfair for us because like we do this podcast now, there is a certain level of like expectation that when albums drop, at some point you have to listen to them before the end of the month, and we do our reviews and all that. Right. So I have that mindset when music drops now. Right. I don't know if it would be the same if we didn't do the podcast, because I know that there definitely was. Especially last year, there was a few times I had to force myself to listen to the albums because I was stuck in 90s R&B for maybe a month. Right. And I'm like, damn, we have a review coming out this week. Let me quickly listen to this album. But yeah, I get where you're coming from.
The thing is, it goes to sort of like I said, like I asked you a few weeks ago about how long an album's staying in rotation. I remember I was having this conversation with Tommy like a few weeks ago, like just after you and I had it. I think the issue is like, the quality of album music as a whole is down. Like, it's down. Do you know what I mean? So, like, for example, I was having this conversation with someone else. For me, the most recent classic album in hip-hop, right, is Daytona. Okay?
I think it's a classic.
Absolutely. But we don't need to conversate on that, but just take what I just said. I'm a hip-hop head. I like you just said, I listen to exponential amounts, even just for this podcast, let alone the amounts that I listen to. And I'm saying the most recent album that is either a classic or has classic potential is May 2018. That's 4 years.
Man.
You know what I mean? So
I think, a key thing to mention in that is that album is seven.
I've said it. This is like gets to a conversation that we've been having since day one on this podcast at album length, and it's the quality control of that album is so key. They didn't need 15 songs because Push and Kanye, when they went in envisioning that, as they've said all the time, they're just like, we're in, we have a message, we're getting in, deliver that message and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You take from it what you take from it. If you can't grasp it, maybe it's not for you. But we have a message to deliver. And the message that we have to deliver is, who else got the luxury to drop when they want because nobody else can fuck with me? That was Push's message. Yeah. And that's the message he stood by for 4 years. If you look at the album run he's doing now, have you watched the interview with Complex yet?
No, I haven't.
Bro, you will literally, it's the exact same bravado. He sat there like, in his head, he's like, no one has dropped an album that challenges the last album I dropped, so I have no reason to be worried about this game. But now whether we agree with that or not, but I think there's like, on the totality, the quality of the music in hip-hop and in music really generally is down, which means that albums aren't staying, which means there's less reason to, like, we were talking about this conversation, right? Like, I hadn't heard the song Pushin' P for well over a month since it came out. And then I heard it one time, I was at a club, I heard it, And I literally stood there and I was like, this is exactly why I imagined this song would sound like. The fact that I could picture the song without ever hearing it tells you where the state of music is.
But it's also very reliant on social media as well, like TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have TikTok music. And I can't lie, TikTok music slaps. So, like, don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. This guy refuses to get TikTok.
I will forever.
Yeah, me too. I'm still off TikTok. Because I know if I get into it, that's like an hour of my day gone.
Yeah, an hour. An hour is about 4 hours of your day gone. Jeez. Just like that. It's crazy. But, you're making TikTok music now. Do you know what I mean? You're not really making music that's like to really last. So I definitely agree with what you're saying, if I'm being honest. Yeah.
It's crazy because it's sad. Like, look, I do think last year as well there were some really good albums. But even then they didn't live as long as you would think they should. Like, we had that conversation that same day when we had the conversation. Shout out to your podcast, your other podcast. Where Silk Sonic, one of the best albums I've heard in years, mega years even. Like, that album is unbelievable to me, one of my favourites. But I don't listen to that every day today. But then I go back further and I think of other R&B albums that have come out, like maybe A Seat at the Table, which 2017, 2016? 2016. And I listened to that for months and months and months.
You know, cranes were in the sky.
Man. She reiterated, do not touch my hair.
Don't touch it. My goodness. What a woman.
Nah, yeah, I just think in general it's weird because I wouldn't class A Seat at the Table to be miles and miles better than Silk Sonic.
No.
But then why did one last way longer than the other?
The message.
I think we're in a different time in music as well. So, like, you know, music wasn't as you could take your time and digest music because you know that artists would pick a certain weekend, they're gonna take their time, release it. But now, if in one weekend you could have like 4 artists that you listen to probably dropping an album, and it's not gonna be like a short album. They're all gonna have like 11 plus songs on it as well. And then also with Silk Sonic, I think where they messed up as well was the fact that prior to like the album dropping, they were giving us singles and they were giving us videos as well with the singles, and people were seriously entertained by the videos. I mean, I was like, what was it, Skate, Smoking Out the Window. What was the other one? Leave the Door Open. Like, that Leave the Door Open killed people, you know. But and then they dropped the album. If it was me, I would have probably just gone through like giving a song every single week for like the next 7 days with a video, because they would have probably been able to run it. Or something along those lines, kind of change the dynamic. But they messed up with that, I thought.
Could have gone the Lemonade route and done a visual album too.
Did you get?
Could have,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of people haven't done that for a while. A lot of people haven't done it for a while.
And and it's not like they don't have the cachet to do that.
Yeah, they could.
Alright, let's hold up because we haven't got Tommy's answer.
Oh damn.
Favorite project of 2021 and why?
Favorite project of 2021 would be actually it's a low-key kind of artist though.
That's fine.
But probably have cognitive bias based on it because of like it dropped in like December of 2021. But it was by an artist called Fada Hibachi.
Yeah.
And it's called P4. And crazy tape. I think it's 7 tracks. Yeah, it should be 7 tracks. Yeah, it's like ridiculous. The mad skits in it. You know, punchlines, but not too many punchlines. You know, different melodies. But it's all kind of upbeat. I can't wait for summer to come so I can actually play it. Like, I can't wait for the sun to be out so I can listen to the album. That's that I enjoy it that much. Yeah, dope tape.
That's an interesting take, you know.
Wow.
That's an interesting, and I don't know if you want to get into the next topic, but do you feel like some artists, like for instance, we'll just talk about Silk Sonic, right, before we got to your answer.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing with Silk Sonic, even though I enjoyed the album when it came out, now that they've dropped Love's Train, in my head I'm like, yo, that album should have been a Valentine's Day album.
Yeah.
The last one. And I'm just thinking now, like, the time of year that you drop your album is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the summertime albums that aren't dropped in the summertime is weird. But then, are they doing it on purpose in anticipation for the festival run, or are they doing it just because they want to get the album out before it possibly starts sounding dated?
I think it's because they want to get their album out. I feel like a lot of artists are trying to stay relevant. So you're just going to drop music because, once again, the way music is being produced is so quick. The turnaround is so quick. It's so easy to be forgotten. It's so easy to be forgotten. For example, like somebody like Meg Thee Stallion, who actually has mad bars, she has to now drop music consistently. Simply because if she doesn't, she's forgotten about. Like, she went missing for a good couple months, I'd say. And did anyone really like care?
But you know what? I just said this like a few weeks ago on the podcast. Like, I think, like right now, she hasn't dropping like in the way that she had. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was like, I think this might be the best thing for her.
Yeah.
Because she had a whirlwind of like 18 months, and not just like she leapt to superstardom that we ain't seen before. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a woman who has
so quickly.
Yeah, that's a woman who has a hit feature with Cardi, a hit feature with Beyonce, and a feature with Nicki in the space of a year.
Right.
No one else really has that.
True.
Jump to the top of the world. The incident with Tory, graduating university, mother passing away, sitting on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. Like, she's been everywhere, and I think this period now where like we're finally not getting, and she's still fighting her legal battle with her label. I think this period now where we're not getting any like music from her will be the best thing for her if she's allowed to like relax, enjoy the fruits of her labor, and then live life.
But the problem is she's back now, and as much as I love Megan, I feel like there's nothing different.
Power to the people we're about to do maintenance. Thank you so much for watching that video. If you were feeling it, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.